Okay, get ready with me, Easter edition. I have no idea if I can get ready and talk at the same time. I think if you're doing an official get ready video, do you have to have one of these headbands? Okay, Easter. Good Friday, we were all home, so we got all of the Easter eggs ready. I made a checklist. Also went to Costco, got some dessert. We outsourced dessert. My mom is doing Easter baskets with the kids. And then I'm also making butter chicken for the kids. So I have to get that chopped up and marinating. And then just get all the beverages. We are hosting both sides of the family. And make it meaningful. So we have resurrection eggs, resurrection rolls. I'm not getting ready. I'm talking and I'm not getting ready. Okay, and this actually just feels not like me at all. Here's again how I feel around Easter. Just like Christmas, I want it to be meaningful, but there's just a lot of family things, expectations around it. And so we're just trying to do both and make both. Isn't it always funny how people do their makeup? Do you ever watch anybody do a get ready and you're like, what are you doing? Okay, I just discovered this brush is really helpful for applying liquid foundation. So we have a few things to accomplish today. I need to get the butter chicken going. I make it nice and non-spicy for the kids. I will link to the recipe. I have a super easy, healthy butter chicken recipe that is so easy. And so I would love to share that with you. And I wanted to talk about, as I've been getting ready for Easter, there's one thing that has stood out to me from what Jesus said and did and all the things leading up to the cross that I want to share with you. It actually has to do with being a twin. So many of you are here because you know my twin sister, Dawn. If you're not, welcome. I have a twin sister. You should check her out. She's amazing. She's the reason my bathroom is this organized and decluttered. So having a twin sister, I think, is just the absolute greatest gift in the whole entire world, because we always got along perfectly, mostly. My mom said when we went to kindergarten and we were in separate classrooms, we started kind of being our own people. So there would be a little bit of conflict then, when we would play. We worked through it. But we also have always just complemented each other super well. Just when we worked together at the Christian radio station. We were on a morning show. She did marketing. I did programming. Anyway, but the fun thing about having a twin sister is I had a built-in best friend all the time. And even when we would go on vacation, we never had to invite friends to come along with us. We had that person and we enjoyed doing the same things and we could share clothes, and it's just really the greatest. And if I could give a gift to everybody, I would give you a stunt double. I tell you about that because one of the biggest things that has stood out to me as I've been just kind of walking through this week and getting ready for Easter and trying to make it meaningful is what Jesus said to us. He said, I no longer call you slave, I now call you friend. And I know a lot of us, we sing about it and we're I'm a friend of God. Jesus is my friend or whatever. But I wonder if he wasn't even implying a greater level of intimacy than we are experiencing. And so I've just been thinking a lot about that. And the context of the conversation when he's talking about that we're not slaves anymore, but we're friends, is in the context of the vine. So it's John 15. It's the night before he's crucified. These are his parting words to the disciples. And he's talking about this vine, and he's talking about how if you abide in me and I abide in you, then you're going to bear fruit. And he's like, my Father's good. He's going to do some pruning. And there also is an expectation in this friendship that you will obey my commands, because, we want to be on the same page. But then he's like, hey, but I'm going to let you in on all the secrets. And then he even goes on in John 16 and he's like, hey, and just so we're clear, I am going to make intercession for you, but there is nothing at all between you and the Father. So we are one big happy family. I am your twin sister, and he is the cool dad. The cool dad that lets you stay up really late. Our dad actually was extremely cool. We worked really hard on the farm, but he would build go-karts for us. We went on vacations. And if I'm doing this wrong with my bronzer right now, I was going to say, tell me, maybe don't tell me. We just got to kind of get through right now. And so I think you're not supposed to put the bronzer on your nose. I think it's supposed to go on the sides, but this is supposed to give me a little definition because my neck kind of becomes part of my jaw. Anyway, Jesus is like, I am like your friend, like as if you had a twin sister. We are that close, but I want you to obey my commands. And sometimes we think of that like there's so much I have to do. I have to be perfect. I remember when I became a Christian, I felt like I am supposed to read my Bible for 15 minutes every day. There was supposed to be a special chair. There's supposed to be coffee. Okay. And I was in college and I was like, and I'm supposed to listen to the Christian radio station. This is how I got into radio is I became a Christian and I was like, I have to listen to the Christian radio station. And we think of it in terms of all of these do's and don'ts. And the idea is, yes, commands are guidelines for living. They're rules for being in relationship. But the whole point of them is that they lead to life. Like Jesus is telling us to forgive freely 7 times, 70 times, because he's like, if you don't, it is going to hurt your relationships. It's going to hurt your sense of well-being. It's actually going to deteriorate your physical health. And so all of these concepts that he lays out in John 15, hey, my Father is the vine dresser and he's going to prune you. Hey, if you're really my friend, you keep my commands. Hey, if you just abide in me, remain in me, make your home in me. If we can be besties, if you can have the twin that you always wanted, but you never had, then you are going to bear fruit. And we're going to be friends, and we're going to be closer than friends. And I just, if we could somehow enter into that reality and that nearness this Easter. I was thinking about like, okay, Monday morning after Easter, we've cleaned up after all the food. We've tried to match the Easter eggs back together and get them put back in storage so that I don't have to buy them again next year. Did I make that look like smooth and I washed my hair last night, and so, this is post baby. It's some of it's missing. Okay. If we could somehow understand his nearness, and I actually have someone that I connected with through here who lives across the country. But she's super cool and she has young kids and she's a homeschooling mom. And so we've been trying to form this long distance friendship. And it is really hard long distance. It's hard anyways, having little kids. And I don't know. I just think as a grown up, it's harder to make friends. When you're in school, you have nothing but time, or when you're a young adult, you have nothing but time. But when you get into this more adult season, it can just be a lot more difficult. So anyway, but we've been giving it a really good go. And it's just like, hey, just text whenever you have like a few minutes of time. Well, if you have little kids, you just rarely have a moment, where you just can talk uninterrupted. And I try to reserve those moments for my mom and Dawn. Like those are the two people who get my time. But we've been trying, and then we'll try and set a time. And then it's like, oh, bummer, one of the kids is sick today, whatever. And my whole point is like that it's hard making friends as an adult, which I think is we've well established here. But there's something about proximity. There's something about my mom was best friends with the next door neighbor, and she literally would just stop by. Like I remember she'd pick us up and we would just stop by. We would play with the neighbor kids. She would talk to her friend, and they would just process the day, talk about how hard it is raising kids. And we would roller skate in their kitchen. There was one pair of roller skates that we would all share. So there's something about proximity in relationship. And that is the most beautiful thing about Jesus going to the cross and dying and rising again, is that in him, on Monday morning, after Easter Sunday, when all the food is cleaned up and the eggs are put away, he made available a proximity of relationship that I just don't know if we all enjoy the benefits of. And we use things to disqualify ourselves. We think, oh, I did this or I did that, or I don't pray enough. I'm not spiritual enough. I haven't been going to church. Or, sometimes it's like, hey, something was done to me and I just don't feel like I qualify. And so what I want to encourage us with today is the reality of Easter and everything that Jesus said and did when he walked this earth. The reason he came and the reason that he suffered and died and then rose again was for sake of relationship with us and to invite us into that proximity. And so if it feels like there's something between us, or if it feels like I don't know how to be his friend, I don't know how to talk to him, he's far away, or he's judging me, he's upset with me. I just want to encourage you that that's something that we get to deal with on our side with his help. But it's not a Jesus problem. Like, he's like, I'm your twin. I'm your bestie. Let's go on vacation together. Even if you leave, I am with you everywhere you go, when you go to work, when you drop the kids off at school, when you're home taking care of a loved one who's sick. I am right there. And if you abide in me and I abide in you, there is such a fullness of life that's available to us. And I know a lot of times the question comes down to, so abide, it just means make your home. Like, if you just think about coming home and being comfortable, that is the life of abiding and or remaining, and just, but it's a choice. It's a choosing to come home every day and abide. And some of the ways we do that are through reading the Bible, through worshiping, through being in community with other people, which I know can be hard, but I just really want to encourage you. We need other people to encourage us, strengthen us, spur us on, teach us, and they help us become more like Jesus. So I just learned about, and I wanted to recommend to you this chosen Bible reading plan. It's only 7 days, but it's in partnership with the Bible Project. So you get some of like the beautiful imagery from the Chosen, which I just love. I feel like that is such a special way to just like feel like you're seeing and understanding what was happening in Bible times a lot more. But then the Bible Project, if you've seen any of their videos, like, they do such an awesome job just explaining. Like, they have books explaining or videos explaining every different book of the Bible. And so this reading plan together is super rich. And then I love that it's only 7 days. You know, some of us have a hard time sticking to things. And so for 7 days though, like, you should be able to, am I curling my hair wrong too? I don't want to know. It's okay. It works. I think I'm doing it right. I wish I could make curls, these loose curls with a flat iron. I've just never been good at it. Which most things I can usually like watch a YouTube video and figure out, but flat iron curls, if you have a good tutorial, send me it. Dawn said maybe I have the wrong flat iron for it. And so then I do it this way, and then I just straighten the ends. I'll show you. But a 7-day Bible reading plan, many of us can stick to, especially if after Easter and right now when we're chatting, you're feeling a little inspired about it. And so I'll encourage you to check that out. Also, online D groups, like, if you've had a hard time finding the right church or just community in your neck of the woods, you can do these online free groups and Bible studies to just develop more community around it. Well, okay. Not to mention my Bible study group, if you're interested. It is a small monthly fee, but we study the Bible together every week, and then we have our own platform where we encourage each other and pray for each other, and it's kind of a really great group of people. So that's another place where you can learn and grow as well. And so these are all the different ways that we can abide or make our home in. And if you are feeling like there's something between us, there's something I've done, there's something, I don't know, I think this is for other people, I'm not spiritual enough, I would just encourage you to just maybe take a journal when you're like, just, and tell the Lord, just write down, these are the things I feel. I feel separate from you because I feel like I'm not spiritual enough. I don't know enough about the Bible. When I read the Bible, I feel confused. A lot of people feel that way, just so you know. Just write those things down. There's something about getting it out and shining a light on it that then the Lord can help bring healing to it, because chances are, it turned off because I was talking too long. I can't straighten the ends now because I have to wait for it. People who do this, they know these things. They don't let their flat iron get cold. Okay. What were we talking about? My brain is coming back online now that I've been getting more sleep. That sweet Kaden is sleeping really well at night. If you feel like there's anything between you, shine a light on it. Shine a light. If it's, I'm not spiritual enough, I've made choices, things have been done to me, write it down. If you have a safe person you can share it with, like, that would be awesome too. Someone that can pray with you and, just help bring truth and help you know that Jesus is so near. Like, he really, 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 like, we tell people, hey, do you want to have a personal relationship with Jesus? But then I think a lot of times we don't get to the the really personal part and the truly like, wow, he is with me every moment. I would love in the comments for you to share your experience in this, maybe what's helped you to feel him really near, how you've grown in this, if there was, or maybe if there was a specific, like, how do you abide? Is there a specific thing that you like to do to just kind of make your home in Jesus or turn your heart toward him throughout the day? Or do you have a twin sister? Oh, and I have new earrings and a little Easter figure thing, decoration thing I wanted to show you. Okay. I'm gonna have to run and get those things for you. Okay, see, even just straighten the ends. Okay. Huh? Yeah? All right. A lip color I've had forever that I'm sure my mom uses the same color. You know how you kind of really start becoming like your mom? And she's awesome. So I think we could share this. I think she would love this lip color. It's kind of neutral. A little pink. Let me grab those earrings. These are new from Trades of Hope. These are little studs, but they're not that little, but they are, I think they're just pretty and feminine. And I wear these little oblong hoops every day for over a year. So maybe we're going to change things up here. So everything from Trades of Hope is handmade by artisans and helping women rise out of poverty. The average woman rising out of poverty takes 10 people with her, kids, sisters, family members. I'm doing it wrong. So do you think people who do these videos practice or they just get really good at it? Okay, Kaden is going to wake up and I'm still going to be trying to get earrings out of my head. Okay, this is going to be our last get ready with me video. That's okay. Did it. Okay. And these are made in India. And then I got this little Easter decoration that I wanted to share with you. If you wanted to just like pack it away you could pack it away for next year. I kind of like packing away things for next year because I don't always remember anymore what I got. And so it's like it's a fun surprise. So this is handmade too, and so I'll link to it. But you can buy it on Amazon, but it's handmade here in the United States, so you could check that out. I feel like Easter decorations are kind of hard because you don't want everything to be like Easter bunnies and everything, and so finding little things like that, and then you can have it closed, and then you can open it on Easter Sunday, I think is kind of fun. So, okay, those are my two little. I will link to these too. You can start shopping for Mother's Day on Trades of Hope. We have beautiful home decor items that are coming out, like beautiful. So I'll put a link for you to shop and you'll know that not only was everything ethically made, but then also you're helping women rise out of poverty. So Father, I thank you so much for this time, but mostly Lord, I thank you for this truth. Jesus, that you said in John 15, I no longer call you servants because a servant does not know his master's business. Instead, I have called you friends. For everything that I learned from my Father, I have made known to you. And then in 16, it says, you did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you so that you might go and bear fruit that will last. And so that whatever you ask in my name, the Father will give you. And so, Jesus, we do come humbly to you and we just ask, will you help us? Will you help us to abide in you? Will you help us to rest in you and make our home in you? Jesus, will you be the first place we look when we need hope, when we need peace, when we need wisdom, when the things of this earth and this world don't satisfy, when the wisdom of this world isn't getting it done? Lord, will you help us to look to you? And Jesus, will you be so near as a friend that we would know your still small voice, that we would feel your promptings by your Holy Spirit throughout the day, that we would feel your encouragement and your nearness as we abide in you. Lord, help us to keep your commands. Help us to do the things that you instructed us to do. Help us to walk in truth. Help us to walk in goodness. Help us to walk in light, knowing that it's for our good and for our benefit, and that it will help us to abide and bear fruit in you. And so, Father, I just pray anything keeping us from being in that life-giving relationship, I pray that you would heal it, that you would remove it, Lord, that you would bring reconciliation, whatever is needed, Lord. And I just bless each one of us. I just pray, Lord, that you would heal those who are hurting in their physical bodies or need it. Father, that you would bring healing to relationships that are hurting. Father, that you would bring peace to those who are feeling anxious or depressed. Lord, that you would, in the power of the resurrection, Lord, that you would touch us, touch our physical bodies, fill us afresh with your Holy Spirit. and encourage us in the love of the Father. And so I bless each one of us now in Jesus' name. Amen.